Hey folks, so we're going to stick with the art theme for this next panel. Since 2016, Refik Anadol Studio has been conducting interdisciplinary research on the relation between human mind, aesthetics, machine learning technologies, and architecture. Coining the terms AI data painting, AI data sculpture, and latent city, Anadol has been reflecting on new multisensory forms of narrating collective memory in physical and virtual spaces. In this talk, Anadol will share the research and production journeys of his Los Angeles based studio's renowned artworks. Please join me in welcoming Refik Anadol, who will be joining us virtually.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Hello, everyone. So good to be virtually there. I'm right now in London, just in between another talk tomorrow about our open source research. But I'm grateful to be here with you, at least in the virtual realm. And thank you very much for inviting me, for sharing the work we do. So I'm excited to share our journey and hope to have a deeper conversations. I'm a media artist. I'm Refik Anadol. I'm practicing my, artistic journey for since 2008. And I would like to quickly introduce my also team members. I'm not alone. We are right now 20 people in Los Angeles, can speak 15 language and represent 10 countries. Last 8 years, I will say specifically, our focus has been transformed many major scale buildings. But as an artist, my main focus was since the beginning of the practice was making art for anyone and everyone and any age, any background, any culture. So in the practice of the studio, the very early days of thinking with data and public space was very important. And 2008, when I was very early ages of like practicing with visual programming language, it was a fascinating time to see the invisible patterns of data. And over the years, the question was if we can somehow think data as a substance, or just to be clear, to me, data is a form of memory. And I do believe this memory can take any shape and form. And if we liberate our minds through the like physical Newtonian qualities of life, I found that data can be a new kind of a pigment, and we can find a new brush, a thinking brush with AI, and transform many imaginations across the minds of many, many disciplines. So I'm so grateful that last now is open in 2014, and our 10 years of journeys profoundly focused on public art, profoundly focused on immersive environments, as you may see, transforming the physical world into a canvas. And this can be a building, a floor, or a wall, or a window, but it's about this seeing beyond the physical function of spaces. And I do believe that architecture is beyond just glass, steel, or concrete. I do believe that light can become one of the most inspiring material of humanity, and merging with data, AI, and light as a material. I believe that we have also a chance of finding the language of humanity. And to do that, I profoundly, again, grateful for my team that last 10 years, we tried every kind of, physical, virtual installations, VR, AR, XR imaginations. Very grateful for our exhibitions around the world that allow us to manifest these ideas across the world. I'm teaching at UCLA also last 10 years. I'm also very excited to share this journey with my students and try to share as much as I can. But I'm happy to say that last almost 8 years clearly changed the understanding of what art means in the age of machine intelligence, and also how, as creators like myself working with code, data, sensors, AI, now have a vocabulary, have a voice in the world. And I think I would like to show several key points in my, humble journey that made impact. And I'm happy to also share some inner voices that made things easier or harder, and hope I can shine light to skeptical minds or just inspire the dialogue across different disciplines. So I guess the breaking point in my journey is 2016 February in San Francisco. There was an event called Deep Dream in a place called Gray Area. As far as I know, it was the very first public event. Literally was the first AI artwork auctions ever done in the public space. And in this event, Google Friends, Deeprim, again, the name of the event, were sharing the power of AI and transforming the minds of the audience. And I was a speaker in this event as a data artist. And I was the only one, I guess, didn't know how to use AI. And I'm so grateful that in this event, I also, after that, became the artist in resident at Google's AMI program. And this truly a life-changing experience, allow me and my team to understand how to compute large data sets and using cloud computing in a very early age of neural networks, basically, like from the image recognition algorithms to like GAN algorithms. And thanks to Mike Taka, by the way, he is next to me, our liaison that allowed us with Kenrick McDowell deep dive in this world. And I guess this is the very first time, as far as I know, an art work in public space used and transform a public data of a archive called SALT. It's an open source library with 1.7 million documents. And as far as I know, this is the very first time a public data transformed into a real-time installation, both in VR, AR, and also, as you may see, in physical world. And the project started this question: if a machine can learn, can it dream? Can it hallucinate? And I believe it's fascinating to think about using AI differently than mimicking human reasoning and human intelligence. And for artists like myself, I believe we found much more innovation and discoveries when the things are not working as they are designed. So in this residency, I also coined the terms AI data paintings, AI data sculptures, and made many audiovisual performances. Our work may look similar when you look at it in a one perspective, but last 8 years, I have been absolutely obsessed with the idea. If one day AI could hallucinate dream, again, that pigment doesn't need to dry. We work with water and high frequency radar data. We mostly focus on collective memories of, I guess, humanity, focus on urban cities, basically, and nature, culture, museum archives, and many others. And of course, space. With NASA GPL collaboration since 2018, we have been diving in different archives. Also, I met with many exciting people like Jensen Huang over the years, our dear supporter as NVIDIA. By the way, next week at GTC, I have a big surprise for you. As a studio, we really dive in this idea of like collaborating across incredible pioneers and life-changing technologies, but not necessarily any shortcuts at all. Truly collaborate and push the boundaries of technologies, hardware, software, and many times innovate new pipelines on top of what exists. And this is one of those examples. I think it was like one of the first time we were able to, 7 years ago, use real-time graphics in our work. And over these years also, our work has been many places transformed. This is from the Chelsea market at Artec House in New York. One of the first time we use 113 million images of New York that allows machine to create and hallucinate new worlds that you can step inside. I do believe there is a huge potential and possibilities before we start VR, AR, XR. There is still a major possibilities is where we can explore where the physical and the virtual connects. And additionally, what I'm super excited about is lots of collaborations across the space. We transformed public archives of GPL into many collections. Here is MRO telescope. I love so much this device, an incredible open source data as well. We let AI to hallucinate and dream the Mars surfaces. We created this environment, I think very first NFT immersive environment in blockchain, and transformed the memories of telescopes basically, and Hubble, MRO, and ISS, and transformed into an immersive environment. And also we work with SpaceX. I'm very grateful that 2 years ago, we used Inspiration 4 mission data and turned it into an NFT collection and donated entire our funds to St. Jude Children's Hospital. And this project you are seeing created a $2.5 million support to St. Jude Children's Hospital. The whole 1 day of hospital was covered by this project. So we are doing our very best to collaborate across disciplines and try to go beyond shiny pixels and make an impact as much as we can. And I'm also fascinated by the idea of connecting AI, neuroscience, and architecture. We did many installations last 9 years. One of them was in collaboration with Adam Gazzaley, an incredible neuroscientist at UCSF. Trained me and my team how to use brain signals, fMRI, DTI, and beyond. We have been constantly transforming neuroscientific data into a different form of sculptures and paintings. I think one of our piece was last year at UNICEF. This is a piece, Sense of Healing, which is transforming 5 young children's brain data while they are getting healed. Very positive message. And we transformed their brain signals into 5 sculptures and donated this artwork to UNICEF. And this project is also sold for 1.7 million euro. And this generated one of the largest donations to UNICEF and brought hope and inspiration for the young minds and the families across the world. And additionally, I do believe that nature is the most intelligent thing we have. And for many reasons, I think our relationship with nature change. And I think there is this kind of an hysteria that finding AI and quantum computing and all sorts of this technology, I think somehow made our relationship problematic with nature. And I do believe that still we have so much to understand about nature, so much to learn about nature. So I will explain like a couple of exciting projects. So again, during the pandemic, especially as a studio, we have been downloading many images last 8 years. I do believe we've worked with more than 4.5 billion images so far and trained more than 300 AI models. And across them, of course, nature is the most inspiring one. This is a project from now 3 years ago, and an inspiration from the Smithsonian's incredible open source archives to train AI with flowers, more than 106,000 species. But the question was, of course, we could see this AI dreaming or hallucinating. We could hear the nature sounds transforming into hallucinative AI soundscapes. But the question was, could we smell this AI? Could we go beyond our visual and auditory senses? And the answer is yes. We were able to create this device in collaboration with Firmenich. And I believe the very first time this generative device was able to take the data of the 14 scent molecule formulas and based on the scene's brightness, speed, and all sort of other like image recognition algorithms and transform this room into an immersive environment. And when you open this door, this living archive was constantly changing, creating the sound, image, and the scent of this AI. So this type of imagination and the future of architecture and finding ways of innovating and pioneering machine learning algorithms through the art and data pigmentation is an absolute fascinating process to me. As a studio, our architectural interventions, AI research is always try to find these new type of imaginations. And also, we have been really working across, I guess, different parts of the world. But this was at Art Basel, Miami, and I believe one of the best museums in the world, which is nature. And we start working with the incredible world of underwater universe. Our coral research started with 135 million images of underwater world. But what was really made a major impact, last year at World Economic Forum in Davos, we were invited to bring this to next level discussions. As we all know, corals are rapidly dying due to the climate change, and we are losing them every single minute of our life. And we thought that with UN preservation team that perhaps if we can use AI as good as we can, and if we 3D model these creatures, we have a chance to reconstruct some of those lost creatures. And there's maybe a chance that we can reconstruct some of the eco-life ecosystem again. And the project received a significant positive impact last year. And also we were here this year again at the Davos in the World Economic Forum. Now I will show you what we show later. And I think our other exciting project that received a well response was this new concept of a living architecture. I do believe that by combining AI, neuroscience, and cutting edge technologies of algorithms, I do believe buildings can hallucinate, remember, and dream. And these are one of those experiments done on the beautiful buildings of Gaudi, Antoni Gaudi, Casa Batlló building in Barcelona. Gaudi, one of the most inspiring architects of our time, was fascinatingly inspired from the nature. And I thought that this can be an amazing case study to speculate living architecture. The building is a literally UNESCO heritage, meaning the building owners has to preserve, protect the building, and 3D LiDAR scan the facade with 1.4 billion, maybe more than that amount of like details, millimetric details of the facade. So what you see here on the middle is a rain data, real-time visualized, the wind data on the very right side, and the humidity data is transforming the facade into a new form of sculpture. But what really made the big impact is the question if we could make this concept on top of the building. And I'm happy to say that last May, we were able to bring almost 65,000 people together in Barcelona and transform the facade into a living architecture and made a major impact. And as far as I know, this is one of the most well-attended events in a public art, and turning the building into a canvas. And we use cloud computation and literally real time connect the building to its own data and generate this type of a new form of performing arts in a public space. You are very welcome to watch them on my website. I think the website videos are extremely much better than this dropping frame, and I hope that you can deep dive in this long performance. And I think the power of art in public space is clear. It brings people together. Art has a profound effect for humanity to bring us together. And I do believe that instead of focusing separations, focusing on similarities can bring much more impact than we can ever imagine. And of course, as Carl Sagan mentioned, imagination will often carry us to the worlds that never were, but without it, we go nowhere. And I'm happy to say that we also work with one of the most incredible building in the world, I think an engineering marvel at the Sphere in Las Vegas. So I was the opening artist, the artist in residence at the Sphere with U2 and Darren Aronofsky. And I was honored to like transform the facade of this incredible form of spherical, I mean, eco-rectangular projection of our work, and we let the building dream and hallucinate. And I believe we created the world's largest AI data sculptures, dreaming the Hubble telescope's nature and the winds of Las Vegas, and making invisible patterns of winds patterns on the building. And I think one project that also put our studio in the trajectory of the history art was MoMA project. So I'm so happy to share that. Almost 3 years ago, literally during the pandemic, our curators Michel Kuo and Paolo Antonelli and Casey Rias invited to start an experiment with the data of MoMA. So MoMA is one of the most important museums in the world. Have been collecting pioneer artworks across different disciplines. And by the way, even like a Pac-Man, Tetris is like in the collection, just to give you how innovative, how open-minded and next level archive I'm talking about. And the MoMA archive, art archive collection is 138,000 images. And by the way, they are already on GitHub last 6 years. So the question, of course, was, can we create a new artwork that is constantly ever changing and dreaming, and literally living artwork that is responding to the people and around us? And I'm happy to say that last year, we put this artwork in the beautiful physical lobby of MoMA. And we also put a live camera feed and also microphone and a weather station data to let the artwork influence with the artwork through different sensors. For example, we dedicate another software for artwork that also literally displays and visualizes which kind of parameters affecting which kind of mission decisions. And it took us 1 whole year to really train this AI to be sure that it is not literally mimicking what exists, but trying to program chance and control and find a new vocabulary with machine learning algorithms. And as you see that we have 3 artworks in the system. And by the way, we have 2 DGX stations running on A100s in real time. So it's a pretty exceptional compute power the artwork has. And it's an 8K screen. So it's a remarkable challenge to run the whole thing in real time. But I'm happy to say that we were able to achieve this. And the artwork was several times received significant positive critics. I guess we got 34 reviews, 2 of them negative, but 32 was positive. But it was created this positive dialogue and the artwork, generative AI as an expressive artwork, and finally became a dialogue between different disciplines. And what is very important to me is we were able to receive close to 3 million people last year, one of the highest ever audience at MoMA, with a 38 minutes average viewing experience. And I'm happy to say that the artwork created a major impact and became the first artwork in the MoMA collection. It is officially the very first tokenized and generative AI work in the MoMA collection. And the first thing, of course, I felt is finally people like myself practicing in digital space with code, with AI, with computation. Finally, I felt that we are recognized. And now I guess the doors are open, the gates are open for next level imaginations for many people. And of course, this is a very grateful moment for me and the team. And we are truly from our hearts very grateful that our work made a significant impact across the world. And I thought that it's our time maybe to really discover this new medium, to give a new home. Because working with incredible museums also showed me that it's a very challenging medium. Working with AI, real-time systems, and data-driven like experiences is a computationally very heavy, institutionally very hard to make. So it requires a new thinking, a new start. So I'm happy to say that as a studio, we decided to focus on this new concept, new location, new idea called Dataland. It's a very childish name since many years that I have been imagining, and I'm happy to say that we will be hopefully hosting it in Los Angeles next year, and more details coming soon. But what I would like to mention here is the dedication of this platform will be to, of course, AI. And we thought that we should be doing something very important, something has responsibility about AI. So we decided to dedicate our research to something I hope very important for everyone, to nature. As we all know, large language models are heavily focused on human reasoning and human intelligence. But I do believe nature requires something else. Nature requires a new mindset, new approach, new vocabulary, and new understanding. So we dedicate our research to nature, and we are calling this multimodal AI large nature model. So we are grateful for our Google friends and Google Cloud that allow us to create this incredible backend and systems, and also NVIDIA for helping us for compute power and beyond. I'm very happy to say that we are on an exciting journey. So large language model will be also in collaborating with one of the best data partners in the world, one of the best museums in the world. And we were able to receive more than 500 million images, more than 70 years long sound recordings, text, and many more. And I'm happy to also share that Google Cloud will be our backend systems that we will be able to create these whole inferencing technologies. And I want to quickly show you where we are. And we are also working with open source large language models and diffusion models, such as like Stability AI, Llama, and many others. And we are constantly experimenting. And I want to show that how the good fine-tuning process can generate almost exciting results. And also next week at GTC at NVIDIA, we are announcing another exciting AI model that we fine-tune and pretty much together from almost scratch reconstructed new AI model with NVIDIA friends. And these are some examples from our next research. And I'm happy to say that we were able to generate almost realistic, beautiful creatures. But the model is not about replacing nature. The model is all about understanding, respecting nature. I also received a very special name from an incredible family called Yavanava. They're indigenous people living in Amazonia, Accra in Brazil. And our research is not only about the data itself, but also about the people living in the data. When it comes to the preserving nature, I do believe that our role is beyond just working with cold data. I do believe that the people in the forest, which, by the way, an incredible journey that took me and my partner to live in many months in the Amazonia and really understand what does it really mean to live in the data, in the nature, and truly understand living in the harmony with nature. And I'm grateful for our mentors and our advisors, Chief Nishiwaka and Chief Putani, who allowed us to live together, open their hearts, open their homes. And we are very closely working with also young Yavanava people. And recently, for their dream project, by the way, they will be bringing together 3,000 Amazonian leaders together. And for this project, we did a fundraising for them and used the beautiful 13 paintings from Yavanava people, and then generate a new collection, 1,000 collection with generative AI, and create a new NFT collection. And the collection was completely for donating entire funds to the Yavanava family. And this collection sold, and this collection's income, close to $2.5 million, went directly to the Yavanava people. And I'm happy to say that with this funding, Yavanava people will be able to create their first museum, first school, and beyond. So I want to just highlight that our work sometimes seen maybe shiny pixels, but there's a more than that that exists. And I do believe that creative use of technology, creative and intentionally, purposefully use technology can make an impact beyond what we can imagine. So I want to close my talk with my mentor's verse, and he says, "It's new times we are living now. Time for forgiveness, time for love, time for spirituality. It's time for humanity to look back to the origins, to the earth, to our hearts, to learn, to love, and respect one another, to make alliances, join forces. This is the moment." So thank you very much for listening to me, and I'm so excited to host you, hopefully in Los Angeles in Dataland, and happy to take any questions or inputs. And here's my email, and you are very welcome to our studio anytime in Los Angeles. Thank you very much.